G'day and welcome back to the Murder Valley build. Still suffering the odd occasional problem with rail, but look, I've made the decision this time. I'm gluing my track in, so you have to ignore the fact that the garage is a dumpster fire at the moment. But so what I'm actually doing is I'm actually putting glue. I've glued up to here, so I'm actually putting glue down in the slot and then putting the track down there and making sure the height's right at the time. So I've made this little gadget. It's a magnet. It literally holds the track up. So if the rail's ever, like the slot's ever too deep, it holds it up. But anyway, so that's what, through this dip, it's hard to see, but the track actually dips through there. I had problems when I was mucking around with it before with rails, with the rail sitting up. So I ended up going through here and last night and just spotting that in place with super glue. I've got the rail fairly high. I'm trying to allow for how the thicknesses of paint are going over the top. And I'm trying to leave enough to be able to shave the rails back. So I want to end up with a rail height of about 0.3 mil. But obviously with gluing the rail in, I'm just using PVA. With gluing the rail in, I'm never going to be able to pull this rail out. So if it fails this time, it's pretty much throw it in the bin and start again. But so here we are. I've got stuff everywhere on the track. So I've got there's my first bit of track going in. There's my first jumper wire to go underneath. So it's all glued everywhere, but here. Now it's interesting because I used my little tester-meter, and I originally was going to double up rail here. Where is it? I was gonna do this. Right, so I was gonna have two bits of rail and they were gonna overlap between those two holes. But when I put the meter on, now this is with the Tomy Turbo. Now the rail height's high, right? And I had two rails in there, but the rail height's high. So I put a Tomy Turbo in there with a narrow magnet, and it was pulling 40 grams to lift the chassis there, and over the double it was pulling 60 grams. So this is why I've decided to go single rail the whole way around. So as you're coming around this end curve, right, all you'd end up with, you'd get to there and the car would slow, like just hesitate before the bend. Probably not a big deal because it's a large curve, but I've decided now instead that I'm just gonna butt the rails up and leave a very, very small gap, and then round the ends of the start and finish of each rail, so that I don't end up with that's not super clean, by the way, that's PVA, it's just a bottle. But yeah, so I'll just make it so there's no join there, and then that, hopefully that will be the only join in the whole track. So but yeah, so it's all nicely glued in around here. Like it's solid. I wish I'd have done it this way to start. You can see where I've got the glue on top of the finish of the track. But yeah, still having a few issues. Like I was gonna run jumpers here, so I actually had this on Friday night. Sorry, on Sunday. Doesn't matter. But a couple of days ago, I had this ground out with a 3mm bit, because I was going to run jumpers under the track, because I can't access the bottom of the track because the table's already pre-built. So I've got a deal through the top. So I was going to run jumpers underneath and then solder the track pieces to the jumpers. But I decided just not to do it, and especially when I did that magnet test. So that's why I've done what I've done, and I'll probably end up paying the penalty for it later. But it's just in there so nice, you know what I mean? Like it sits in there really well. I just want it to be smooth, and I think that's really the thing. I just want the smoothest track I can. I really want this, that when it's painted up and finished, I really want to focus this on non-mag cars, because one of the things I've always wanted to do is like do the gravity type racer, but maybe build from like an AFX non-mag and put a brass pan and all that sort of stuff. This is part of the reason why I went down the path of learning how to make foam tyres. So, and then of course I can do my own silly foam. So I've ended up getting some neoprene rubber lately, so I can make tyres very, very similar to what's on the freight cars now. So yeah, I'll be able to retread the rims we get from that. That's probably one of my problems. I can't do rims, but I can make tyres to suit any rims that are out there. But anyway, look, that's just a bit of a progress on what I'm up to. I've still got to get the vacuum cleaner. I'm still going around. I had a heap of bits that I had to fix up yesterday that I just wasn't happy with, and this took a fair bit of work because, like I said, there was 3mm slots on either side, and I've had to rebuild it. But yeah, my tip to anyone that's even thinking about looking at this: don't use Builder's Bog. Use Plasti Dip. Builder's Bog's too soft. And I found it doesn't stick very well to MDF either. But look, that's just my experience. Others may have a different one. But I had a shocker with it and gave up on it very quickly. It's just unfortunate that Plasti Dip's very, very expensive. But anyway, look, thanks for watching. Keep watching the channel. I'll be bringing updates this all the time. I am highly motivated to get this finished. Very highly motivated. I want to get a race meet going on this. It's been way too long and I'm just frustrated with not having a track to race on. So anyway, thanks very much for watching, and keep on coming back for more. Thanks for watching, guys.